While this classic is loading, let me tell you about Blue Chew, who is sponsoring this episode. Guys, what a year! In some ways, the last 12 months has felt like 12 years, am I right? And I know some of you are feeling your age more than you used to. Well, guess what? You're older than you were before, so that makes sense. Sure, you could argue that time doesn't exist, but try telling that to your partner in the bedroom. Snap out of it, man. Spring is here, and it's time to get sprung with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED. That's erectile dysfunction. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. Process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Did I mention that it's all done online? Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. So, if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout and just pay $5 in shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code NODUNKS to receive your first month free. And of course, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Pigeons, they're everywhere I go, but when I see a pack of pigeons, what I think of the most is where the baby's at. Cause when I'm looking around, all I'm seeing are big pigeons eating shit off the ground. Now I'm asking you sincerely to consider this. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Consider it. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Cause I haven't and I'm pissed. Now I spend my days thinking about what they do with their kids.
Good morning, Sweet World, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, June 10th. I'm J.E. Skeets, rolling with the homie, Tass Mellis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tass? Got my top shot hot boy, fellow freak, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey, yo, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
And last but not least, making the magic happen, it's JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. Smash that like button, leave your comments, and subscribe. We were, at my last check, 6 subs away from 40,000 subscribers to the No Dunks YouTube channel. Who will be our 6 heroes today? That's all it takes.
Raise your hand if you're number 6, a.k.a. number 40,000. That'll be huge.
That'd be great. Huge. Be great to hit 40K, especially for tonight's No Dunks Happy Hour watch party. Jim Beam coming through with the sponsorship here for tonight's show. Gonna be a blast. We already got Leigh locked in, making a Jim Beam drink, and we will have some larfs and watch the game. We're gonna fire it up around halftime of the first game, which is game 3 between the Nets and the Bucks. Hopefully it's hopefully it's a 30-point blowout again at half, so we can really just kick back and watch Leigh make a drink. But come join us here live on YouTube again around halftime of the Nets Bucks game 3, and we'll kick it for a couple hours together and talk to you guys there in the stream team. Keep sending in your questions and comments for Beach Step In. Email them in nodunks@theathletic.com. Send them in by way of Twitter if you want at NoDunksInc. We hit the beach yesterday to discuss our dream NBA Finals matchups, players who have done an incredible job increasing their value here as they hit the offseason. And, off of that awesome cold open there from JD, we had the baby animal power rankings. Tass took us through his, at least, when it came to baby squirrels, baby pigeons, baby wrens, and then a wild card tadpoles. So you'll have to go listen to the Beach Step podcast to find out.
Frogs. Frogs were in there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tadpoles. Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, right.
I think we're missing one. That was only 4. Wasn't there?
There was only 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, go check that out. That's a beach stepping podcast. We had a lot of like random nature talk. There was a good 20 minutes where we were talking about every animal we know, as well as some fun NBA questions that you guys sent in answering.
Yeah, all the baby pigeon talk got me interested in seeing what a baby pigeon looks like. And let me just say, a worthwhile Google for anyone out there. Throw in baby pigeon. Literally looks like Gonzo from the Muppet Babies, a baby pigeon with a big old floppy nose hanging off. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see that they A, exist, and B, are hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be Googling that right after this show.
They've got adult noses, you're saying. They grow into their nose.
Yeah, exactly right.
Finally, go grab your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. If you haven't already, get your No Dunks t-shirts and hoodies and shorts, and we got coffee mugs, and we got more things coming down the pipeline there. So nodunks.com for all of your gear. Okay, we got the up-down report on today's show. Another award was handed out. Was that the last one? I can't keep track anymore.
Still got rookie, right?
Oh, rookie. Yes, we're still waiting on that. Anyway, we got the defensive player of the year going to Gobert. We'll talk about that. Bunch of other sort of fun, random things. One involving LeBron James changing numbers that got everybody excited. But we'll start with the game here. I know Suns fans are fired up. Chris Paul has another big night task as the Suns destroy the Nuggets in Game 2, take the 2-0 series lead, 123-98. What's the big takeaway from Tas Melos here on a Thursday morning?
Well, let's go pregame. Michael Porter Jr. not looking all that healthy. He's warming up with what looks like a back brace. He's applying heat to his lower back. Kind of looks like a weightlifter out there pregame, or a pregnant lady applying heat to the back. And it sure looked like the Nuggets were going to try and get him going because they know they need him in this series. So they kept on giving him the ball early, and he clanked away. Mm-hmm. He missed his first 7 shots in this game, but it looked like a little blessing was coming to the Denver Nuggets when DeAndre Ayton picked up his second foul only 5 minutes in. The Nikola Jokic stopper, the guy they need on the floor to stop Jokic. And what I think is the coaching move of the playoffs, Monty Williams kept him in there. He had the guts to keep him in there. So if you voted for Tom Thibodeau for coach, give it to Monty Williams right now. I think this was really, really important. He stays on the floor. Dario Saric doesn't have to come in where they have to double Jokic. So Ayton stays in there with 2 fouls, and he ended the game with 2 fouls. Mm-hmm. Really, really, really important minutes. And I don't know if the Nuggets were deflated because Porter Jr. didn't look all that great, but they were a little slow getting back in that first half. The Suns were kind of getting back in behind them a lot, and that continued throughout the game. And it just continued into the third quarter when Chris Paul and the Suns took over. And I'm not sure if Chris Paul pranked us in the first round, but he looks ridiculously good. 17 points, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers. He doesn't look like that shoulder is bothering him at all. Devin Booker still hasn't gone off yet in this series, hasn't scored more than 21. And the Nuggets just didn't look like they were up to speed with the Suns. Didn't look like they really had the energy to keep up with them running up and down the floor, whether it's the home court advantage. I don't know. There are a couple little positives. Michael Porter Jr. started 0 for 7, did finish 3 of 6. So maybe they know they got to apply more heat pregame or get him warmer.
Crank it up.
Get him in a sauna, have a sauna courtside or something. But he needs, I don't know, to do what he did in the second half. In the first half, and Will Barton came back. Maybe he goes into the starting lineup. He had 10 points in 15 minutes. He looked really, really good. Hadn't played in 2 months. But the Suns didn't get a bad performance from anybody again. And that's the really, really impressive part. And the Nuggets just looked like they didn't have the energy. They weren't going through. They kind of ignored Jokic at times in the first half, which is bonkers. You want to go to Aaron Gordon? Sure, you can do that, but when Aaron Gordon has the ball, 1 guy's a weapon instead of 5 guys being a weapon when Jokic has the ball. So I think that Jokic was ignored, and that was a bit of a mistake. And I don't know, the Suns just felt like they were a little bit more energetic, right, throughout the entire game.
Yeah, through this entire series so far. Maybe a big part of that is the crowd, which was hyped again. Trey, did the Nuggets quit, though? That's what Mike Malone says. Or is this him just playing his final card that he can play? Like, he criticized the team after Game 1. He's really laid into them after Game 2 here. I mean, he did say that we quit tonight, something you never want to see. And he went off, I thought. He's done this before. This is sort of his MO.
He's a bit of a Phil Jackson motivator,
right?
Sure. Like, he likes to do it through the media. We heard it during the first series. We heard it a few times during the season, basically coming out and saying we weren't physical enough. And, I kind of agree that the Nuggets quit a little bit. You could just see Jokic getting so frustrated last night. There were multiple times in the second half when it felt like the Suns were just completely overwhelming the Nuggets. Jokic would get a touch inside. He would do some cool moves. Maybe that's a foul during the regular season. He's not getting the call. And then you just see him complaining to the referee all the way back up and down the court. That's when you can tell he has kind of lost his interest in the game. We've seen it happen with Jokic before. I don't know, though. The Suns are really just looking like they're outclassing the Nuggets here. They're overwhelming them with talent and depth in the second halves of these games so far. It's been kind of the same script, I feel like, through games 1 and 2, where the Nuggets are able to play it close. They go to halftime. Monty Williams says whatever he says in the huddles. Chris Paul says whatever he says. The Suns make a couple of tiny adjustments, come out, hit the Nuggets right in the face. And the Nuggets just aren't able to respond because the starters' disparity has been incredible in this series. No different last night. Jokic went for 24. The other 4 Denver starters had 26 points combined. Meanwhile, every Suns starter finished in double digits. According to Jovan Buha over at The Athletic, the Phoenix starters were a plus 17 in 20 minutes. I mean, Porter Jr. has struggled in this series. Perhaps it's his back, but if he's not making shots, the Nuggets just don't have enough offense in their starting lineup to really hang with the Suns, who have been completely locked in on defense.
Yeah, this is 5 consecutive playoff wins here for Phoenix, Leigh. They are rolling right now. That Trey said it. I mean, everybody's contributing. In fact, if you took everybody that's played in these 2 games, and I'm serious here, and you lined them up and you said, okay, rank them in terms of like who's playing the best through the first 2 games, it's going to be Jokic probably somewhere in the first 2, whatever, if you're putting Chris and then Jokic, or Jokic and Chris even in the loss, whatever. And then what? Is it 7, maybe 8 Phoenix Suns players? I'm not kidding. I'm really not. They're all playing so well that you're getting down to like 8th or 9th until you get to another Nugget is my point here. And part of that, of course, maybe is the injury to Michael Porter Jr. But the backcourt, like this is the backcourt that I thought was going to be the problem against the Blazers, which is why I took the Blazers to win that, because you cannot have Campazzo, Austin Rivers, and then Morris, who's like been brutal in this series, combining for 12 points on 4 and 19 shooting. I thought that would bite them in the ass in the first series against Blazers, but the Blazers play no defense. It turns out the Suns have an unbelievable defense. Anyway, it was a crazy dominant victory again.
They're definitely missing Monte Morris at the output that he gave them against Portland, but I just wonder if maybe Michael Malone does shift him into the starting lineup just to mix things up for game 3. But this one actually was only 8 points at halftime, but it really could have. Oh, 10 was it? Okay. It could have been a lot more, because the Suns actually had a period in that second quarter, about 4 minutes, where they couldn't score, but Denver's offense was so bad they couldn't really take advantage of that. And I felt they were just chucking a little bit there, the Nuggets. And again, Michael Porter, they were trying to get him going, but he wasn't healthy and he wasn't hitting those shots. And he's still, he's a young player. He still sort of just is like, I'm shooting when I get the ball. He has that mentality. That's one of the faults that he has to work on. He has improved throughout the season, but I thought it was there last night. And then in that third quarter and then the fourth quarter as well, Monty kept his starters in for a lot. And Chris Paul just saw Michael Porter and was just like, come here, you're defending me, and I'm going to score a couple of times. And that was just torture. That was absolute torture. And then there was another time where I think it was Morris on him, and they went for the switch, and Jokic just stayed in the paint. Chris Paul just walked into one of his mid-ranges, which he's going to knock those down. So, he was just a master again last night, really just crushing the Nuggets, because it was a 25-point game. It was a blowout. But again, they were sort of close enough to start that second half that if things turned around, they could have gotten into it. But they just didn't really seem to have the fight last night. Michael Malone saying quit, I thought it was a little harsh, to be honest. And we've seen that, like the Bucks quit the other night. They were just awful. But I didn't think the Nuggets quit. I thought it was one of those shot nights where the shots weren't falling. They competed long enough before you can really say quit. So I thought that was a little bit hard. But
I don't know. Jokic was on overdrive. Yeah. That was like the thing that people criticize Jokic about, losing track of the game and just getting super involved with the rest. Because like you're saying, Tass, great job by Ayton. Picked up 2 fouls early, none the rest of the way. Surely Jokic is thinking he's going to get some of these foul calls inside, but that hasn't been the case. Maybe it will be in game 3 when they present him the MVP award. Even Chris Paul was a little bit worried about that. In the postgame, he's like, we know game 3 is going to be crazy. They'll probably give Joker his MVP, so the crowd will be going nuts. Maybe he gets some more foul calls, but he wasn't getting any sort of love from the officials last night. I thought Ayton did an incredible job, and you could just tell that Jokic was frustrated. And if he's feeling emotional in a game, that can take him out of things. And if he's out of things, there's no chance for the Nuggets.
Yeah, and I think he should have been a little more. I think part of his frustration was with his teammates. Like he just should have got the ball even more. Sometimes they're just taking shots that were slightly contested. Really, I just think with the way everyone else is playing, give him the ball at the top and see what he does with it. Almost every possession. It's not crazy. Campazzo can bring the ball up, but then let Jokic make everybody else a weapon. And I think he was frustrated with everybody, stinking a little bit and not giving him the ball, and obviously with the officials as well, and maybe he could have tried to take DeAndre Ayton into the torture chamber a little bit. He may get a call or two, and maybe things change in Denver. But yeah, they were all frustrated, and for some reason they didn't really have the belief to get back on defense either. Like when you got guys sneaking behind the back line and getting layups. Whether or not that's the energy of the crowd or whatever, but you're not going to win. And so this whole Nuggets roster has got to be a little bit better. Yeah, like we're saying about the Suns roster. I mean, talk about the freaking leadership. Like Chris Paul, I think that's a little source of motivation for Game 3. He said post game, they're going to give Jokic the MVP trophy before the game, which I guess they are. Is that true?
Yeah, probably.
A little quick ceremony.
Yeah.
But not a full presentation. Full presentation.
No, I think it's just you come out to half court and you give it to him and everybody applauds and that's it. Yeah, that's it. And maybe maybe his team comes out and surrounds him, but I don't know. You're down 2-0. It's not as fun for sure. Getting that, I think. Yeah.
It's kind of like getting the neighbor community award, kind of thing. Like it's just a quickie, get a photo op and move on. But I think Chris Paul is just, I think he's just trying to motivate his guys. Like he did the same for Game 2. He said post game, he said, we lost Game 2 against the Lakers at home in the last round. We didn't want to go 1-1. So he's just finding a source of energy, a source of motivation for him and his crew. And I think he's just so good at keeping everybody in line. Like DeAndre Ayton, he could have fouled the third time. He could have gone to the bench, but I think I'm giving a lot of credit to Chris Paul and everything he does, keeping everybody in line. Even the guy behind him, Campaign. Like Campaign had a dumb foul. Campazzo just ran into him. Campaign, cool, calm, collected, stays in the game. This is Campaign. He was almost out of the league. And he turns the ball over just once throughout the game and plays a perfect game. I mean, everybody on that roster is just rolling. So yeah, Monty Williams, Chris Paul, they all deserve the credit, but maybe things change in Denver. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like it comes down to Game 3. I think we all agree with that. It's not like they're going to come back from down 3-0. They have to win Game 3. They have to have a better effort. I think Mike Malone is just trying to light a fire under their ass, calling them quitters and saying like, "Hey, is anybody going to play hard? Stop moping around." Yeah, he's calling out Jokic a little bit too. Like Trey said, these are his. He's done this before, and he'll see if it'll work in Denver. I will say, Reggie says a lot of dumb things on the broadcast at times, but he was spot on when he said the second half started, Leigh, and you said it was 10-point game there, and he's like, these 5 minutes are super important for Denver here. Like they have to sort of win this, take control, prove that they can hang with the Suns. And the opposite happened, right? Because in the first 90 seconds of the second half, Crowder hit a 3. Mm-hmm. Then you had Bridges getting a piece of Jokic's shot. Great defense. Ayton gets fouled in transition, hits both of those free throws. That's 5 right there. Okay, Rivers then gets to the line. He splits a pair, he misses one, and then Crowder splashes another 3 from the other side of the floor. Boom, it's 60-43. The place is going insane. You got to call a timeout, stop the bleeding, and then it felt like that was game right there. I mean, they never really got all that close after that. And so Reggie was right. I mean, he said 5 minutes, but it was like it was 90 seconds. It was a minute and a half, and then it was over. And I mean, and it was a little similar to what we saw in Game 1, where it was like, ooh, Suns did not play incredibly well offensively in the first half, but then they turned it on in the second half there and ran away with it.
Yeah, former Cavs guard from the 90s, Mark Price, had a tweet the other day saying just how, bit of an old man shouting at Cloud, but just saying how easily it is for guys to pick up a switch on defense in the game right now. And I think that is the case because Chris Paul just walks down and basically just sort of picks the defender that he wants. Guys don't seem to be fighting. I mean, we've talked about the same thing with Kawhi Leonard, one of the best defenders in the league, and it does seem to be the trend at the moment. Like, if you want the guy defending you, you can go down and pick him up pretty easily. So I think that is one thing that the Nuggets need to be a bit more focused on, is if Michael Porter is just getting called into those defensive switches, so they have to get him out of that area, have to put him on a player who's further back or whatever. And maybe, of course, it's the chess match of then that player comes up to set the pick or whatever. But, you have to fight through screens a little bit more, and you're just not really seeing that. But look, it's Chris Paul. I mean, you saw him dance with Paul Millsap as well.
Oh, my God.
Just, it's beautiful. And look, Chris Paul's done this his entire career to great defenders, to anybody. And Paul Millsap's a little bit slower these days than he used to be. He's in complete control. But I remember as well when Chris Paul, when he did have that shoulder, injury in that first round against the Lakers, where he couldn't even, for him, he was losing his handle. He was slipping around. He wasn't making passes with the real fizz on it. That is just completely gone now. He's back to the superstar that he was, walking into that mid-range, knock down those shots, hitting threes, doing everything. And I think that's clearly the biggest turnaround for the Suns in the playoffs is his health is back. But if you are the Nuggets, I think you have to fight a little bit more and not let your weakest defender get picked up on him in those situations, because it does seem to be it seems to happen a little too easily for me.
Yeah, Tass, one thing we talked about heading into game 2, we're like, will Will Barton play? And if he does play, will he be able to give him anything? Or because he hasn't played in 7 weeks, he'll be rusty and maybe it hurts the Nuggets. What did you think? I thought he looked all right. I thought he gave him some energy. I think Malone even said that after the game. He's like, it's pretty embarrassing. A guy that hasn't played in 6 or 7 weeks might have been the best player in terms of like just pure effort out there. But what did you think of what we saw from Will Barton there?
Ballin' Will Barton. I forgot how good he is. He's just such a natural, smooth guy. He can just score. Yeah, he came out and he was on fire. And maybe he'll give you a tiny bit back on the other end. But the energy level was super high. Perfect six man. And who knows what the adjustment is. Is it stick with Campazzo and Rivers in the backcourt and just keep Will in that 6-man role? Maybe. But I don't know. I mean, he was just on frickin' fire. So if you need some offensive weaponry, why not shove him in there? He looks super good to me. 10 points, 15 minutes. And maybe you'll have a little, Will sort of streaky, he just gets cold and he just starts chucking a bit. But love me some Will. Love me. He's just smooth. He's just a unique player out there. So you guys were asking about, I thought, it's going to be rusty Will Barton. But no, he was quite the opposite.
Yeah, he was farting Will Barton for sure.
Flying around out there.
All around out there. No, he looked good. I thought he was great. I think he was, again, outside of Jokic, got his numbers, but they're making life difficult for him. Ayton is, and sometimes when they're throwing second guys at him, I thought he was like the second best Nugget in this game, despite playing very limited minutes. So we'll see if he starts. Maybe Morris does start, like you said, Leigh. I know he hasn't been great, but maybe just switching it up and putting him in there, and maybe it slows Chris Paul somehow a little bit. Campazzo is getting picked on too. That is happening if it's not Michael Porter Jr. that they're putting in the action. I'm sure Malone will do something. He doesn't seem like the type of coach that's just like, no, this is the way we do it. It's the way we've always done it. We're just going to try it again. We'll play better at home. I don't think so. I think he'll switch something up.
He has to do something.
Morris.
Yeah. I just think, and look, the fans in Phoenix again last night were just incredible. What a riot it is in there. That's the other thing.
That's a damn party. They're chanting Suns in 4. They're all over the other team. They're amazing right now.
They're enjoying it, and they should, because their team is playing incredibly fun basketball. They're winning, and they must be starting to, put their eye toward the Western Conference Finals right now, and just seeing how that series is going, because they're going to be feeling great when everyone's healthy. And again, like last night, no one scored 20 points for the Suns. I think that's just incredible that you're getting so much variety from your offense and not having, Chris Paul, he was the star with the 17 and 15, but the fact that no one's out there having to really be the only guy on offense is huge for them, because they're getting contributions from everyone. That's the way Monty likes it. And that just puts them in such a good position going forward. The only real concern, I guess, for the Suns is, and this is a minor one, is complacency, because apart from Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, a lot of those guys haven't been to the playoffs, and they might just think, hey, this is easy, and things can turn pretty quickly. But I don't really think that's a problem with Chris Paul out there on the floor, because he's in such complete control. But some of the younger guys might sort of feel like, man, we're cruising along here, and take their foot off the gas a bit. But
that's why Chris Paul after the game was like, wasn't he like alluding to a series against the Spurs when he was with the Pelicans? And he was like, we hammered them in 2 games, I think it was. Yeah. And he was like,
they won every.
No, we thought we were going to cruise control. And it was like, no, it was like they weren't worried at all. The Spurs weren't with Tim Duncan, and they came back in that series. Yeah. So he's trying to tell them that for surely. Like, hey, just because we're up 2-0, just because we won both games at home in pretty dominant fashion with our crowds going nuts. Yeah. Like we're still so far from what we want to achieve here in terms of moving on and then going even further, which I don't know how you can't watch this team and go, no, there's no way they can go to the finals. Like, look, I had the Nuggets in 7. I'm holding on by, a thread. Trey, you had them in 6, I think, right? But everything comes down to game 3. It's not over. Things change in a hurry, but God, they look so, just every guy contributing for Phoenix is the scary part. And I think somebody already threw this in there. Like, when you bet on Booker having like a 35-point night here, like probably in one of these games in Denver, or at least in this series, like he's going to pop off at one of these. That's who he is. So that's scary if you're Denver, I think, Trey, a little bit.
Yeah, I guess if you're Denver, you're thinking we haven't had a big Jokic game yet either, right? That's got to be the thing in game 3, and that's honestly a must-win game. Maybe the Nuggets hit back if they lose game 3, but I don't know. It feels like they felt just so overwhelmed last night that if it plays out similar in game 3 to how it did in game 2, bad news bears in game 4, I would imagine. But it's going to be lit in Denver, no doubt. This was their worst loss of the season, probably their worst game of the season. They just looked completely outclassed. Aaron Gordon apparently called out the team, him and JaMychal Green. Perhaps you would like that coming from Jokic rather than a guy who's been there for 25 games and a guy coming off the bench. But little poop pants for Aaron Gordon called out the team and came out with 6 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Aaron Gordon, what should they be expecting from him? They should be expecting more than 6 points from him. Shouldn't he be at least 15 a game in this series? Like, with no Murray there, with Michael Porter Jr. struggling, you brought Aaron Gordon in not just to be a defender. He was a ball handler for the Magic. He should at least be able to make some sort of plays out there.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I
like how he's not overshooting, though. Like, I like how he's not shooting threes because those aren't going to go in generally. He's taking the right shots. I mean, hey, you're getting what you're getting. I don't think it's really all that bad. I think if you're relying on him to score 20, 25, you end up being the Magic. I think you're,
How about 10?
In the first one, he had a decent game. Like, what do you have? He had double digits for sure. Yeah. The 3 of 6, it's a good percentage. I like it. I like his hair.
Silver lining.
I mean, it's those games we watched. Yeah, the 25 games. It was Jokic setting him up and setting everybody else up, and everything running through Jokic. I mean, I just want Jokic to touch that thing 1,000 times a game, and then Aaron Gordon will get some from cuts and all that. But I don't. You're right. I mean, if Porter Jr. is struggling, then somebody needs to handle the ball. But I want the MVP handling the ball, and then let the chips fall where they may.
I do wonder. Yeah, will we see Jokic just shoot 30 times in game 3 and of course facilitate too to and move it around when the doubles come, but he almost has to. Look, there is no doubt watching last night's game, these first 2 games, you're like, my God, they could really use Jamal Murray and some dribble handoff action with Jokic to actually have some confidence in one other guy being able to sort of attack and maybe get a bucket. Because my God, it's just Jokic right now. When Morris ain't hitting anything, we haven't had the Austin Rivers explosion. Composite, fine. Aaron Gordon, as we just talked about, okay. I mean, like, there are times when Millsap is like, oh my God, Millsap might be your next best bet to get a bucket. But not good. We'll see what happens in game 3. Chris Paul, I just want to point this out. You guys said the 17 and 15 with 0 turnovers. He's the, only 4 other guys have done it in playoff history to have 15-15 and 0 turnovers. Chris Paul's done it 3 times, Leigh, for 3 different teams. Across 3 decades. Incredible to have those type of stats in a playoff game. The other ones, they make sense. Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson. The final one, though, be a great trivia question one day. Spurs guard Johnny Moore. Back in the early 80s day. Leigh, do you remember Johnny Moore? Have we ever pulled a Johnny Moore basketball card in one of these old packs?
I remember him, but no, I don't remember that game. Oh, we must have seen him in one of the poppin' packs at some point.
Yeah, so, I feel like he's would be a random card we would get. He did lead the lead in assists one year back in the early 80s. So he was an assist man, Johnny Moore. I had to look him up. I didn't even know what he looked like.
Surprised John Stockton never reached that mark.
Huh.
The 15 assists without turnover, yeah.
Great point.
Anyway, yeah.
Not on that list. Chris Paul dominating that list. Just a few other notes I had. Bullseye tip, 933.
People were loving it.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Because you never quite know, but maybe helped out by the one game only there, Tess. But that was great.
Late. Yeah, I was late. I was a late arrival to that 9:30.
Oh wow!
Sure.
See, yeah, you're all.
Yeah, I was expecting 9:40. No doubt.
Yep. So that was fantastic. You guys said the crowd was awesome again. Kevin Pelton tweeted the worst point differential through 2 games by an eventual series winner in a best of 7 since '84. These are the 3. Cleveland coming back against the Warriors in 2016. Through the first 2 games, they were a -48, Leigh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the 95 Rockets coming back against the Suns. They were a -46 point differential through the first 2. And then in 2016, the Blazers over the Clippers. Chris Paul would have been on that team, would he have not? -41. And then he says that to point out the Bucks currently -47 point differential against the Nets, and the Nuggets -42. Yeah. So they would be on this list if they could pull off the, I guess not the impossible. They're only down 2-0, but coming back to win a best of 7 series.
Who's more likely, Milwaukee or Denver?
Denver. But I don't feel good about either. I mean, look again, I had the Nuggets. I mean, it's the Suns. Just every guy's playing awesome. Tass, you thought it might be the Kaminsky game last night. Like that was your random prediction. I put you guys on the spot. You weren't that far off. I mean, it was Dario Saric who was pretty awesome, I thought, in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah,
everybody. It's totally true. We named Campaign, Dario Saric, Torrey Craig was blocking shots.
Cam Johnson.
Things. Cam Johnson did his part. So we're 9 deep now. I thought Frank Kaminsky looked real good in garbage minutes.
1 for 3.
Yeah, Jalen Smith.
Oh man, everybody feeling good in the valley there. Couple just plays. What was your favorite play from last night, Leigh? Because I thought there were some awesome ones. The Chris Paul crossing up Millsap and then the sweet dime inside was huge. Craig blocking Morris from behind, which led to a Sarge 3 on the other end, was awesome. Jokic's fake turnaround fadeaway no look to cutting Barton was awesome.
Yeah.
And, a couple other plays. Do you have a favorite from last night?
Well, it probably is the Chris Paul one, just because of the pass into, I think it was Torrey Craig who finished it. And he just, when he gets a guy like that, he's like, I'm just sorry, I have to do this, Paul. You're a veteran. You're an all-star. You've been around the league, but I have to embarrass you. I just can't help myself here. But there was another play. I actually clipped it. I was going to put it up. It was off that one play where Jokic just was sort of caught into the pick and roll and just stayed in the paint. The amount of space that Chris Paul had to just stroll into that mid-range,
right?
That's the sort of play that if you are Michael Malone, I think he's probably focusing on saying we're quitting, because of all the shots in the world you can give up, the Chris Paul mid-ranger is probably one of the least you want to allow to happen. So there was that. I mean, I love that early pass out of Will Barton. I had that one ready to go, but didn't get it up in time. So,
Why? Why were you clipping them all and not posting them?
No, well, this one, it took a while to get through, and by the time I had it, like a dozen people had it out already. So I was like, no point. But
right.
Yeah, no, I mean, just Chris Paul, when he just comes down and he just sort of looks at the defense and says, okay, whose turn is it? And then he just goes out and delivers. I mean, because, to be fair to Michael Porter, a couple of those shots, it's not like he's created so much space that he's not near it. He puts it up, but it still seems uncontestable when Chris Paul decides he's taking a mid-range shot. That's the crazy thing about it. He's just beautiful to watch. I'm really hoping he can go further than this series too. It'd be great for him.
Yeah, if you if your team is not in the playoffs any longer, I don't know. I guess people don't like Chris Paul. There are those people that hate Chris Paul, but the narrative of him getting a ring would be pretty damn cool. And we talked about it on yesterday's Beach Step, and when we were coming up with cool scenarios, cool narratives for the finals matchups, and that came up. The idea of him actually getting a ring at 36. But I don't want to get too excited with the Suns and Chris Paul, because every time you're like, yeah, here we go. This is the year something terrible happens to CP3. I guess that's knock on wood if you're a Suns fan. All right.
Well, Leigh, I hope you get a new Will Barton highlight in Game 3, because you probably only have a couple games left to get in a Will Barton highlight. What's the caption going to be? I think it.
I mean, I can't preemptive that, Tash. You've got to see what the play is. You know, it might just be like, you know, a Jokic eyes emoji. It could be something simple like that. Because
I was hoping to do the Bartman.
Oh, the Bartman, yeah.
Wow.
And it could be a big step back. You know, it could be like, I don't go this far on my vacations. You know, when you see him do one of those gigantic ones, it doesn't really work. But
workshop.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it. It's like having a baby. You can't name it in the hospital. You need to look at it for them. Look at the baby for a month. But yeah, we had this conversation in a WhatsApp group. Skis, what you just brought up. 8 teams remaining. Who are you cheering for? Because let's go to our buddies. Our buddy Ken. He was cheering for the Lakers, and when the Suns bounced him, he didn't know who to cheer for. I brought up Chris Paul and the Suns because I think you got to cheer for somebody from the West. Trey brought up Jokic; he was in the Jokic camp. But yeah, I kind of where is the best narrative? Where is the best storyline of the 8 teams left? Of course, it's not the Nets. I don't think it's the Sixers. I don't think it's. Maybe it's the Bucks if you're into that type of thing. Could be Trae Young.
I would like to see the MVP though as well, like win the finals. That hasn't happened in when was the last time that happened? Yeah, Steph, I guess. Steph
2015. Steph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you better hope Denver turns it around here in Game 3 if you want that. I just want this series to go longer than possibly 4 or 5 too, which no doubt looks like right now with the way Phoenix is playing, the way Denver is unfortunately playing. We'll see. Everything could change in one game, but it all comes down to Game 3. Seems like a pivotal game, Leigh. Can we call it that? At least for Denver.
Yeah. Huge.
Okay. All right. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll get to the up-down report.
I started reading the ad copy for Bombas socks, and it's all about how comfortable it is to work out in Bombas. And I realized I hadn't sweat my Bombas in years, on purpose anyway, because I'm a foot sweater. But I hadn't worked out in them in a long time. So I put them on this morning for my workout and had a VSP, a very solid pump. I actually didn't think they were workout socks, in all honesty. I know you guys haven't, but I thought they were too thick. They're just so soft and cushiony. I had no idea they were moisture wickers. I thought they were just hangers, just nice cushiony hangers. But my sweaters were cool and comfy after my tread boot camp today because my Bombas Performance socks are stitched with special moisture wicking yarn and temperature regulating vents that allow cool air to flow in and prevent overheating. They come with a pillow-like tab to save you from blisters. Stay Up technology. What a special arch-hugging system and an extra layer of cushiony comfort I talked about there. They come in different styles for every sport. And like all their socks, for every pair of Bombas Performance socks you buy, they donate a pair to someone in need. They've donated over 45 million pairs so far. Go to bombas.com/nodunks today and get 20% off your first order. That's BOMBAS. Bombas.com for 20% off. Bombas.com/nodunks.
Are you feeling drained after working out or playing basketball or just doing regular household chores? I did yard work for the first time in literally decades this weekend, and I felt like it nearly destroyed me. Well, if this has happened to you, you might want to give this great new supplement, True Niagen, a try. That's right, True Niagen fuels the body's energy engines. It maintains cellular metabolism and even supports heart health. With 11 published human clinical studies and backed by Nobel Prize winners, True Niagen is a supplement that's clinically proven to boost NAD levels, an essential coenzyme required for cellular energy and repair. Taking True Niagen can help with muscle recovery after a workout. Add more vitality to your life today with True Niagen. Right now, new customers can save 10% off their first purchase by going to trueniagen.com/noducks. That's TRUNIAGEN.com/noducks to save 10% off your first purchase. trueniagen.com/noducks. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, Tess, I know you're coming into a bit of money here pretty soon. What's the dumbest thing you've bought during the pandemic?
I haven't been too crazy. Although, if you look here on YouTube, you see some of that Velcro. It hasn't been holding up my foam core. Now, there used to be foam core. Whoa! Computer down.
You need some Velcro on your computer.
Yeah. Computer down. Luckily, I've got foam core supporting it.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, go ahead, Trey. Bad Velcro. I need some Velcro on my computer.
Keep going,
that actually
Trey.
is perfect. I noticed that you didn't say insurance. You chose bad Velcro. But as you know, Tass, Americans overspend on car and home insurance by billions every year, and apparently they underspend on Velcro. Nonetheless, that's money, the insurance money, that could have been spent on literally anything else, and that's where the Zebra can help. The Zebra is the nation's leading insurance comparison site for car and home insurance. In minutes, you can compare policies from every major provider for free, all on one independent marketplace. After a few quick questions, the Zebra pairs you with the right insurance company for you, helping you save time and money. There are no hidden fees or fine print about your personal information. And best of all, the Zebra has no stake in the policy you choose. They're just there to find the right coverage at the right price. Make insurance your smartest purchase yet. Visit thezebra.com/nodunks to get your free quote today. That's thezebra.com/nodunks.
Oh, love to see the computer down, make it into the ad read. So
Amazing. I love to have ad reads back because it feels like we're at NBA TV as well. We can look at our phones, during commercial break.
Yeah.
Coming back in 5, 4. All right, we're back.
Yes, we are back, and let's get into it because there's a bunch in today's report. It's the up-down report.
Prepare your tundies. It's the upturn report.
All right, first one in the up-down report. Let's see your thumbs in the stream teams. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Another day, another NBA award announcement. Rudy Gobert has won the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. The award is Gobert's third DPOY honor since the introduction of the award in '83. Gobert is only the fourth player in NBA history to win it 3 times plus, joining Dwight Howard, who has 3, and then Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo, who have 4. The Stifle Tower finished with 84 of 100 first-place votes. Ben Simmons coming in second place overall with 15 first-place votes, and then Golden State's Draymond Green placed third. So, Leigh, you're going to get us started here. Up or down on Rudy Gobert winning another DPOY? Thumbs up.
Congratulations. A convincing victory there by Rudy. Well deserved. And you do mention that he joins pretty elite company. And when you look at it, he's going to be 29 soon, only in a couple of weeks here. And he anchors one of the league's most consistent and best defenses and has done for the last 4 or 5 years. Could end up with more than anybody, I think. I don't think that's with beyond the range of possibilities here, because that the Jazz's backbone and their staple is defense. He's there. He gets recognized for it. And, I can sort of see him. He's getting better. He grabs a lot of rebounds. He doesn't have any, significant health concerns at this point. Like, he's not an injury-prone guy. So he's going to play. The Jazz are going to be a defensive team for a long time, as long as he's there. So I can see him being the leader of this bracket, this category, when all said and done with his career, because that's what he's certainly most known for, and he continues to be impactful on that end. Last season, the Jazz's defense slipped to 13th in the league, which was surprising for me, although maybe the bubble had something to do with it there. But it was certainly back this year, and Rudy was fantastic and deserved this award.
Would you bet on that, Trey? Rudy Gobert to win 2 more, let's say, Defensive Player of the Years from here on out? He's only 29, whatever he is, that Leigh said.
29 in a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Or, maybe 1 you can wrap your head around, and then you're like, would voters actually give him more than Ben Wallace? That's where I would struggle. But it is possible. I mean, he's still an elite defender. Oh, you just proved that, winning it again, and I could see why he could win it a couple more times.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be voter fatigue for Defensive Player of the Year, right? It's almost more just like, hey, that guy's still awesome at defense. Toss him a vote. I mean, I think that rim defense is the most important defense out there. I think that that's going to continue to be the case. And obviously the Jazz are going to continue to build around Rudy Gobert as a defender. Probably at some point, Ben Simmons will get one. People will toss him a little DPOY bone, but I think that Gobert was the easy choice this year. He challenges the most shots at the rim, and people are still trying to avoid him. I think that's pretty impressive. It's just that his lowlights stick out so much that people love to dunk on Rudy Gobert. You know, when he gets crossed up by Chris Paul in the corner and he's spinning around like a top, that sticks out a lot more than, you know, blocking a Ja Morant dunk or something like that, because we expect a 7'4" guy to be able to block some shots. But I don't know, if you watch that last possession of game 1 against the Clippers, I know it wasn't during the regular season, but that could have been a defensive player of the year highlight type right there. Rudy closing out in the corner, kind of just flying all over the court. Guy's a great defender. 5 is in play, I would at least say.
Tass, were you shocked at all by, you know, how much he ran away with this award? 84 of the 100, 101 first place votes there going to him. Quite a significant amount. I thought some people thought, it might be a little closer between him and Ben Simmons, but in the end, it really wasn't all that close.
A little bit for sure. I get caught up in what the media is saying, and Doc Rivers did a good job of pumping up his guy and Ben Simmons. And yeah, I definitely get caught in the narrative out there. I'm a sucker, definitely. So yeah, I heard it a lot, but at the same time, I think we're going to get a good Ben Simmons game on Friday because of it. I know, Skeets, you kind of mocked that idea when Joel Embiid came out with a 40-point performance after Nikola Jokic got the MVP, and saying that it had nothing, one had nothing to do with the other. I think Ben desperately wanted this thing, and maybe we'll get just a tiny bit more Ben juice on Friday in Atlanta for Game 3. I'm just trying to look at the positive here. I don't buy that what Danny Green said about Ben Simmons, that this should go to a perimeter player because the big man has less to do now in today's game. It's the opposite. It's absolutely the opposite. Dan Green also, I'm calling him Dan Green from now on.
Oh my God, sounds like an author.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I'm going to take a vacation to read my Dan Green book on the beach. But he says that perimeter players have more responsibility than big guys. It's the opposite, the absolute opposite. And that's why I understand, Trey, you're saying voters don't have voter fatigue. I kind of have voter fatigue looking at this award. I kind of just go big man centric when I look at this award. Although Ben does as much as he possibly can, Rudy has a little bit more ground to cover. And I think he does a good job of it because that's the only place you can really get physical with somebody is at the rim. They don't call it the way they call it out on the perimeter, which is touch, foul. At the rim, at least you can be a little bit physical. So I think Rudy gets it. I have no idea. I didn't look historically if he's going to get he just needs 2 more, and then he'll have the ultimate lead. Wow.
Yeah.
I think he's finished twice second as well.
Yeah, so, I was just going to say that. Definitely once to Draymond, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, is he then a lock for the Hall of Fame? If he's like
he's the all-time
sort of the best defender of all time. I mean, I don't know. That's it's too early for that. I saw
Ben Wallace just got inducted, right? Yeah. Rudy Gobert is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh wow. Calling his shot. He's locking it in. Oh my goodness.
Awards, man. You're going to see Rudy Gobert at the end of his career. He's going to be posted up with 5 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Put him in, man. Defense, I hate it. But it's half the game, at least what some people say. It's more like maybe 38% of the game, but it is technically half the game.
It's a great trophy. I will say that. It looks cool when you see the Defensive Player of the Year trophy. It's got some weight to it, Leigh. I mean, I guess the MVP trophy is great too, don't get me wrong. But I just like how it looks. It looks cool when you got a bunch of them there together.
I will say, though, that the award presentations are really starting to mail it in. Which is left on his seat in his locker room there. He's like,
it's his third one. So
I know, and the Jazz have already had an award there, and it's just like, here you go, have it. And then Jingles had to save the day once again, going up there, putting up a great speech. I mean, Jingles has had the most impressive speeches and trophy, presentation moments of the playoffs here. So I don't know, but
do you want Ingles to host the next NBA award show if we ultimately do it again, and you can wear your blue suit there?
Yeah, he would absolutely light it up, Jingles. He'd have some great lines, no doubt about it. He'd be sarcastic, he'd be dry, he'd have a little shot at a few of the guys he's gotten into it with over the years, like Paul George. It'd be perfect. Okay. That's what we need. Paul Hogan hosted the Oscars back in 1987 after Crocodile Dundee. So Hugh Jackman's hosted the Oscars.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's hosted the Oscars. What else?
Did Kylie Minogue ever host a Billboard Music Awards or something like that?
No, but Kylie Minogue got a birthday shout out down at the Fortress in the Hawks-Knicks game. When they do the celebrity birthday, it was Kylie Minogue. And I'm like, who in Atlanta is going to know who Kylie Minogue is? She turned 53 too.
She wasn't there.
No, she wasn't there. It was just like a celebrity's birthday day. And it was like Kylie Minogue. And I'm like, wow.
Wow, that's random.
Yeah, I wish I got a photo of it, but I was not expecting it. I was not expecting it. There's rappers and movie stars and people I've never heard of. And then Kylie Minogue gets a shout out. I'm like, okay, great.
Okay. Our next one here in the up-down report. Love seeing the thumbs, by the way, guys. Up or down. The Indiana Pacers fired coach Nate Bjorkgren yesterday. In his only season in Indiana, Bjorkgren went 34-38. Now, Pacers players, including Sabonis and Brogdon, they voiced dissatisfaction with Bjorkgren at some point during the season. General unhappiness, I believe, was sort of the quote from the Athletic reporters, again, throughout the season. And so he's gone. And Trey, we'll start with you. Up or down on the Pacers' decision here to just fire Bjorkgren after just one season? All right, you're out of here, man.
I got to go sideways on this, Skeets, because on one hand, a terrible look to have to fire your coach after a single season. But also, if your coach has to be fired after a single season, you get a thumbs up for doing it because you don't want to go for a second year, right? Especially considering that the Pacers are not a team that is early in their development, right? They're trying their best to win right now. Obviously, it's a tough season for Indiana. Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, TJ Warren, Jeremy Lamb, Karis LeVert, all those guys missed significant time. They had a hot start, 11-9 through January. I'll never forget Domantas Sabonis averaging a triple-double for like a month. That's going to be the new Flip Murray out there. Remember when he led the league in scoring for like 2 weeks? 04-05. That's Domantas Sabonis in December and January, but they fell apart from there. Under 500 for the rest of the season. As No Dunks fans know, they kept showing up as the opponents in big beefs. Not a good look. Apparently, Nate lost the locker room. They got blown out in their last play-in game. And yeah, Skeets, leaks galore, basically, that everybody was unhappy and didn't like this guy. Once that happens, tough to put the toothpaste back into the tube. There's a difference between being a voice and being the voice. This is not the first time an assistant has struggled moving into the big chair. It sucks for the Pacers that they had to do it so quickly, especially considering Nate McMillan did take the Hawks to the second round after years of losing in the first round of the playoffs, but probably a smart choice for the Pacers.
Yeah, what do you think, Tass, the Pacers' decision here to quickly move off of Nate Bjorkgren?
Yeah, I think they had a problem. They had to change it. There was just too much out there. There was way too much media reporting out there, including TJ Warren saying, hey, that guy came from the Phoenix team when I was there. I don't like him. Give me a trade. He didn't even play for him in Indiana. I mean, that was a report. But yeah, just up and down the roster. So many guys. And then we saw the whole Goga thing with Greg Foster on the bench. Yeah. We had that situation. Now, it's really strange because Toronto Sun reporter Ryan Wolstad said that the Toronto Raptors would be glad to have Nate Bjorkgren back as an assistant coach. But as Trey brings up, sometimes you go from the assistant chair into the head coaching chair and things don't go well. Mm-hmm. But they love him in Toronto, so maybe he goes back to a position like that. But I think with Indiana, bad reporting, it's time to move on. And it's not like a Sacramento Kings situation or somewhere where they just rotate in and out of coaches. It's not a tumultuous situation. They had Nate McMillan there for 4 years before that, and then Frank Vogel 5+ years before that. So it's not like it's one of those franchises that you just teams will look at or potential free agents will look at and say, it's just another bad season, another year. They're flipping a coach. That franchise is in disarray. There was disarray in the locker room. They remedied that, and I think they can go back a little bit to being that the respected franchise that they should be. There's a lot of stability there. So they need somebody in there that's stable that, takes them to that next level of their growth.
Leigh, I always wonder when stuff like this happens, how much did other coaches being fired have to do with this decision from the Pacers? What I mean by that is, he's still there after the season. The Pacers season last night checked ended a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And then recently, like let's say the last week or so, we got Terry Stotts out in Portland. We've got the whole thing going on with the Celtics, like a bunch of new openings, which means some coaches that were there are now available. Is there a possibility here where it is like, oh, let's try and get Terry Stotts? And it's like, oh, well, now he's available. Well, geez, let's get rid of this Nate Bjorkgren guy. We were already thinking about it anyway. Maybe we can get him. I wonder if they're correlated at all.
It's possible, I guess. I guess the Indiana front office there decided let's just give it a couple of weeks just to see, maybe talk to him, talk to the players once everyone's cooled down and the stress of the season's over, and just to see if there is something we can work out of this. Because again, I think for a franchise, you don't really want to have to do this move. You want to be able to say, hey, listen, we believe in this guy. It didn't work out the first season, but maybe after everyone's cooled down a bit, we can move forward. But that wasn't the case. And so, he's out. And look, it's tough when this is your first gig and you get canned, and the guy who you got canned for, as Trey alluded to there, is absolutely flying with the Hawks right now. They've turned their whole season around since Nate McMillan came over. So that's going to be tough for Nate Bjorkgren if he wants to get a head coaching gig somewhere else. He doesn't leave with a great reputation there. But, yeah, if you're the Pacers, you haven't got a lot of time here if those guys are in demand, like Terry Stotts has been rumored. And also, I think Mike D'Antoni is going to be a head coach again somewhere next season. It seems like he is still interested in coaching, and there's going to be a ton of interest because Mike D'Antoni's teams, have unfortunately come up short in the playoffs, but they always play fast, high-scoring, exciting basketball, and teams just like to have a guy like him there who just sort of unlocks your offense. So I think the Pacers probably decided, okay, we need to be at least we don't want to get caught behind before these guys get signed by some other team. So that's what I guess went into it. But it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction as well. I guess that's a good thing from the Pacers. They didn't just decide the day their season ended, right, you're done. They did at least give it time to think about it and see what they could figure out. But ultimately, they decided it wasn't the right move to keep him.
Well, rumors have Mike D'Antoni going to coach the Portland Trailblazers. And before you guys jumped on here to do today's show, TK told me if D'Antoni goes to Portland, lock it in, Damian Lillard MVP next year.
That's right. Lock it in. The guy gets incredible performances out of point guards. Steve Nash, MVP under Mike D'Antoni. James Harden, MVP under Mike D'Antoni. The only thing that's going to have to happen is Damian Lillard will have to change his number to 13 for it to work perfectly. But if that happens, you're looking at maybe the best record in the league, a 1 seed in the Western Conference, and an MVP all from Damian Lillard. I would think it'd be pretty funny, though, if Neil Olshey comes out and says, we're getting a guy in here who's bringing the defense, a guy who can look at this roster, this exact same roster that I put together that's so gorgeous, and turn him into a defense. Nah, lean into the offense. Go D'Antoni. It tends to work. I will say I also think Terry Stotts is a lock for this Indiana job, and I think a huge part of the reason that we heard about Nate Bjorkgren is that Terry Stotts became available. Terry Stotts played his high school basketball in Indiana. He's an Indiana Sports Hall of Famer. Best way to get a job with the Pacers is to have a connection to Indiana basketball somehow. Larry Bird joined the Pacers. Who else has been in the mix here? They brought in Victor Oladipo, an Indiana player. I'm sure like a Mike Conley would be an ideal guy for them to have. Obviously, they were rumored for Gordon Hayward. If you're successful in Indiana, the Pacers want you.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think happened here with the news coming right off the heels, basically, of Stotts being let go in Portland. Like, geez, he'd be awesome. Let's go get him. See you later, Nate. Anyway, that's enough time.
And they have the same front office that Portland did back in the day. Oh, right. So there's that connection.
I didn't even think of that.
George Hill used to be in Indiana. I just like to say this. He went to IUPUI.
There it is.
Nice.
So fun to say.
Isaiah Thomas, people are saying, an Indiana University legend, became a coach there as well.
Good call, Stream Team. Next one here. This sucks. Hawks forward DeAndre Hunter will miss the rest of the NBA playoffs because of a torn lateral meniscus in his right knee. Team announced this on Wednesday. Hunter experienced some mild swelling in his right knee prior to Game 1 against Philly, and he underwent an MRI that revealed a new small tear of the lateral meniscus. So we'll ask it like this, Tass. Up or down on the Hawks' chances of beating the Sixers here in this series without Hunter, who obviously will not be returning? Up or down?
It's terrible because DeAndre Hunter is a very, very solid player, but I'm going to go up because Kevin Huerter's emergence off the bench can just slot into that starting lineup at the small forward spot. He has been incredible these last couple of games. It's time for him to get in there with all the pressure on Trae Young. Solomon Hill hasn't been able to shore up the offense, but Kevin Huerter has. He basically played starters minutes in Game 2. He played 36 minutes. He was 8 of 10. He had 20 points. Game before that, the 2 games here in Philadelphia, he was 6 of 9. So combined, he's 14 of 19 so far in 2 games. He's balling. You can't hide Seth Curry if you have Kevin Huerter on the floor. you can kind of hide him on DeAndre Hunter a little bit. I think you would rather have, Herter has been he's just a lethal offensive weapon right now. Who knows what DeAndre Hunter would be if he came back? So, I say that in coordination with the way Herter is playing, it's time to get him in there. And yeah, it hurts the bench a little bit, no doubt. But you just got to play your guys heavy minutes. And I think Nate McMillan will do that. I think Friday night, game 3, you have to start Kevin Herter now. He's probably going to do it anyways, even despite this DeAndre Hunter news, put Solomon Hill to the bench. But yeah, you got to just think about those 3 guys out there now, Trey, Bogdanovic, and Kevin Herter. They're not going to, they're not going to be sieves on the defensive end. They're going to do their job well enough on the defensive end, and they can't trap Trey that way. With Solomon Hill out there, they could. With DeAndre Hunter, maybe playing great, maybe not, they could. But Kevin Herter is scorching, so I'm looking forward to Herter being out there.
The consensus from the stream team, Leigh, seems to be it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if Hunter's actually going to be playing in this series. But what do you think? Are you thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh, I'm thumbs up because they've already won 1 game and they were in game 2 as well. And DeAndre Hunter was out most of the season anyway, so they've learned to play without him. But they are going to miss him because he's a versatile player. He was good against the Knicks. He can hit the threes. He can defend. So you would certainly love to have at least 12, 15 minutes. You'd love him starting over Solomon Hill for sure if he was healthy, but that's not the case. But I do think the Hawks, from what I've seen so far in the playoffs here, they've got enough to beat the Sixers, but they're in tough. It's going to be a tough series no matter what happens and who plays. But if the Sixers defense really does lock in and prevent the Hawks from getting threes and getting shots off, then it's going to tilt towards the Sixers. But you got to like where the Hawks are right now. They've stolen home court. We've got a huge game down here at the Fortress tomorrow night, and I'm pretty excited for it. So I don't think it makes a huge difference ultimately, just because, as I said, he's missed most of the season, so they're used to playing without him. But it's certainly they would prefer to have him out there and have him as an option. So, they miss him somewhat, but they miss him. They'd rather have him over Solomon Hill for sure.
Are the standing room only tickets available yet for Friday night down at the Fort?
Yet.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. I've been checking religiously here. Nothing yet, but don't worry. I'm onto it.
Trey, anything to add to this? Thumbs up or thumbs down on Hunter?
I don't know if this is a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but I'm with the stream team on this, and I'm with you guys on this, that DeAndre Hunter, unless he grew like 5 to 8 inches and gained 90 pounds, him coming back is not changing this series for the Hawks, because the problem is not sticking Tobias Harris out on the perimeter. The problem is that Joel Embiid can walk to 40 points, basically, against Clint Capella, one of a solid big man defender. So, yeah, you would obviously rather have Hunter than not have him, but the Hawks at least have a guy in Kevin Herter they can move into the starting lineup to replace Solomon Hill. I actually thought Solomon Hill did a solid job in game 1 playing defense. Obviously did nothing in game 2. You just need more out of your front court to combat what Embiid is guaranteed to be doing.
Final one here in the up-down report. LeBron James is changing his number to number 6 from number 23 next season. The Athletics' Shams Charania and Tim Cato reported that the change is expected to come after Space Jam: A New Legacy is released July 16th. My God, that made me laugh. Anthony Davis, by the way, is expected to keep number 3, because you might remember there was, a year or 2 ago, LeBron was going to give his number to Anthony Davis, and the league said no, or Nike said no. Yeah. Somebody said no, we're not doing that. So anyway, LeBron's doing it now, but it's coming after the movie. Up or down, TK, on LeBron changing his number, back to number 6 from 23 next season?
Thumbs up for a 2-year saga of a guy changing his number. June 2019, LeBron James gives Anthony Davis a number 23 Anthony Davis jersey in a parking lot at a restaurant. Very soon after, whoever hits the brakes on this, apparently Nike would have taken a hit in the tens of millions of dollars just having to, I don't know. It's not like people wouldn't want LeBron James 23 Lakers jerseys if they just sold them anyways. I don't know, but I do think it's funny, Skeets, that we're seeing the real reason why LeBron wants to switch numbers here. It's because of Space Jam. You can see him wearing number 6 in all of the promo materials. So either they're trying to distance Space Jam 2 from Space Jam 1, where Michael Jordan is wearing number 23 for the Toon Squad, or there's going to be a crossover between the two of them. You can't have 2 number 23s on the Toon Squad. As we know, the opponent changed. Used to be the Monstars. Now it's the Goon Squad, but the Toon Squad remains the same. I've been advocating for an MJ cameo since this project was announced. Then they came out with the news that this was all going to link through the various Warner Brothers properties over the years. Kind of locks it in for me. And I got to say, I'm actually excited for Space Jam 2. I cannot wait for this to come out. I can't wait. July 16th. Catch me at midnight waiting for the drop. Hanging with my guy, Al G, the Al G rhythm. We got to defeat the algorithm. So does LeBron. We're all aligned on this one.
My favorite tweet, I retweeted it at Scotty Burnsom. He says, he's calling a shot. I bet at the end of Space Jam, Michael Jordan shows up to play in the game, and LeBron has to give up his number 23 to MJ and thus goes back to number 6. Leigh, you're laughing, but I could see that happening. We're getting an MJ cameo in Space Jam, A New Legacy.
Yeah, likely. The funny thing as well is Anthony Davis is likely not changing his number from number 3.
No. He's like, I won a championship with 3.
Yeah. I would just want LeBron. He's worn number 6, of course, in Miami. I wanted to wear just a crazy number like, 74 or something like that. I think it's time for that. I mean, I don't know. When this one came up in the doc, I was like, I couldn't care less about this, but I'm going to try to find some sort of angle to bring to the story here. And
I know you say you couldn't care less, but people care about this so much. Like there are you'll just Google search. There's like a million articles on this stuff. It is wild. But he's going back to 6. He'll have both of them now. It'll be, I guess, Kobe-like tasks in a way of Kobe doing it all for the same team, of course, the 2 numbers. But what do you make of this task? Are you thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm pretty pissed.
Oh,
I want to wear my LeBron James 23 jersey and be the same number that he's wearing. I understand why people get pissed about it. I get it. You want to have that same number. I guess people just don't like guys changing numbers in general, period. Although 2 things. First, if you buy a jersey and a guy gets traded within a year, you get insurance on that jersey and get your money back.
Well, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I just thought that's cool. That's a modern day little tweak that has happened in the jersey game. Anyways, the second thing is Trey brought up going to a movie theater, and that got me excited. I'm not super excited about Space Jam 2, but combined with the fact that I haven't been in a movie theater in a very long time, and I saw people outside a movie theater last week with a popcorn bag, I got pumped. Yeah, that's a good feeling being in a movie theater again. So when is it being released? July
16th.
Yeah.
Nice. Perfect.
You can basically lock in a film session that we got to do for Space Jam Leigh. Maybe we'll all go together. We'll make it an outing, guys. Go watch a movie together, share a popcorn, and then just jump on the stream here and break it all down in a film session. Right? Why not?
For sure. I'm wearing my LeBron jersey to the theater. I don't know if you want to sit beside me because I'm going shirtless underneath. But
wow.
Yeah.
Movie theaters are cold, man.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
Especially down here. I find them. I bring a sweater to movie theaters here. I get so cold. I hate that feeling. All right, let's.
A couple of last things on this. Sure. Devin Booker, smooth move. He got LeBron's last game-worn jersey after the Suns eliminated the Lakers. He's got that number 23.
Great.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Another question I would have is, where is that number 23 Anthony Davis Lakers jersey from the parking lot? Does Anthony Davis have it? Does LeBron have it? That's a special jersey to have as well. And the last thing I have a question on, why was there a person outside of the movie theater with a bag of popcorn?
I lied. I lied. I saw people. You did. I saw people outside and they were looking at a movie poster and they were going in, but I wanted to create the, just create the image of somebody looking at a poster with a bag. That's the part I was excited about, more so the popcorn. But yeah, good call.
Aren't there some theaters where you can bring your own food though? Does that still exist?
Well, if you smuggle it, yeah.
No, I think there's some where you're actually allowed to too. But yeah, most people smuggle it in. You ever done that, Leigh?
Yes, all the time, because I hate it when you go to buy the popcorn and it's good. They used to have small, medium, and large.
Oh god,
and small
here we go. Here goes the Mo Verde. Tim
Hortons, Mo Verde.
Now it's just one size fits all, and it's just far too big. So we cook it at home, and I just smuggle it in. And I know it's like not really.
Wait, you bring popcorn into a theater?
Yeah.
No, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Because I just
This is crazy.
I agree.
This is crazier than leaving a theater with a bag of popcorn.
Nah, because it's like I say, it's just so salty as well, so over the top with the salt and the butter that they put on it. We just do it at home. It's a bit better, and that's and then you just take it in so your kids aren't just because it's so addictive. You cannot actually stop eating until it's all gone, and you're like, I don't want my kid eating that much popcorn. So
you're popping your own bag in the microwave.
Well, yeah, we put in the saucepan. We have the seeds, the real
okay.
seed.
You're doing kernels. Respect. Respect.
Analog.
Okay. And then you're putting it in what, a Ziploc bag or something? And then
some sort of something that you can sort of not get. It's not going to be detected. So
then what? You're stuffing it in your cargo shorts?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not hot.
Jesus.
Number one, it's not hot.
It stays sort of, because you do it just before you go, so the bag's all kind of moist and stuff.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you go there and it's like $16 for a bucket. Like it's not like a horse where you just like put the head into it and they just chomp away on it. Yeah.
They've got two sizes. They've got
no, they don't.
I got a crazy idea, Leigh.
Atlantic Station, they don't.
Bring your own smaller container. Buy the popcorn.
Yeah.
Or some give it to your son or yourself.
Well, the other thing is, I've heard as well that popcorn, they don't empty it at the end of the day, so you could be getting, some.
Well, that's just straight up facts.
But you like that? Yeah, you like stale popcorn.
I do like stale popcorn.
Yeah.
Don't shame me with that. But you're right. I worked at a Jumbo Video where they had popcorn that you could eat while you walked around and even decided on the movie. Yeah. End of the night, we weren't throwing out the popcorn.
Yeah.
You threw it into a big Tupperware. Next morning, fire up the machine, make a new batch, and then throw the old stuff in and mix it around. None the wiser.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm just saying there's a workaround this for the movie theaters. Just give us the sizes again. Give us small. When I say small, I don't want small to be what any
three kernels, sir. Is that what you would like?
I don't want small to be what any normal person would say. That's not small. That's extra large by its size, because they have small, medium, and then large like that. Just a cupful. That's all you need. Just remember at Turner we used to get the popcorn, put it in one of those red cups. That was enough. You don't need more than that. But
how much would you like to be charged for that? Is the problem.
$1.
So, yeah.
Why don't you get in line and you buy the size and you say to the people behind you,
yes,
hey, you want to split this? Because there's way too much popcorn in here.
No one wants to.
Be a popcorn middleman. That's a good idea.
Some people, they just like the right. I'm at the theater, at the movie cinema. I get my big jug of water or Coke, a big bucket of popcorn, and this is what it is. And it's like, you don't need all that, because obviously the bigger the popcorn, the bigger the drink needs to be.
The bigger the popcorn, the bigger the drink, the bigger the piss. You're missing more movie.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It takes 45 minutes for the movie to turn. We complain about NBA games not starting on time. You go to a 1:30 movie session. If that thing's on before 2:15, I'll go crazy, because I went and took my son to one of the Star Wars ones, and we were like 40 minutes there, and he was like, all right, I'm done. I didn't even really enjoy this movie. I said, I know, because it's all commercials. It's all ads so far.
That's the best part. You order the biggest popcorn you can and try to finish it before the movie even starts. That's what it's like for me. You just sit down, it's like, you look down, suddenly 3/4 of your popcorn is gone, and you're getting a preview for Fast 9. Come on.
And a quarter of that's probably in your beard there too, Trey, I can imagine.
I like to save some for the climax of the movie. Just pop out a little beard kernel here and there.
I'm just saying, it's like when you go to a like the basketball game and it's like $10 for a beer. I think if you make it $5, you're more likely to buy 4 beers than if it's $10 to buy 2. I just think it's like they've gone from the old, like, we've got to gouge the customer for absolutely maximum every time, rather than like make it a bit cheaper so people are more likely inclined to buy more. That's my thought behind it.
Okay.
I gotta disagree with you on the sizes, though. There are 2 sizes. I'm sorry to disagree with you. Here, this says free small popcorn. This is from Regal.
See, Leigh's problem with this is like he can't get over that's a small.
This is a large.
Yeah. Well,
bucket,
okay. That
bag.
That to me,
Bucket,
and again,
bag.
I can't tell you the last time. It might have been when we saw The Martian. Me and Skeetsy and Matty O went and saw it.
The last movie you saw in a movie theater was The Martian?
It might have been. No, you know what it was? I know what it was. It was the one with Gaga and Bradley Cooper. What was that one called? The
A Star Is Born.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw.
chopping on your homemade popcorn.
Listen, I'm going to go back to
Gaga
Atlantic
Twitter
Station
thing.
and just verify that they do have two sizes, and make sure they are actually different. It's not just like one's a bucket and it's the same actual volume in there of popcorn. So,
All right.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, best thing I ever snuck into a movie was a Star Wars as well, and I filled my pocket up with wings from Buffalo Wild Wings before I went in for like an 11:30 showing. Man, pocket wings, good stuff.
Well, yeah, when I asked this question, we're now 10 minutes into this. Old man yells at clouds. I mean, movie theaters. I was thinking, yeah, of course people smuggle food into the movie theater, but it's usually other food, not popcorn. But no, not with Lee Ellis, because he's got a problem with the size of it that they sell there. Wow. All right. Let's take one more break. Hey, here's a couple things you could smuggle into a movie theater. Magic Spoon and Jim Beam. Roll a commercial break.
Yesterday morning, I was watching my children hoover some cereal. One was eating some Cookie Bears, biting their heads off, having some fun, and one was eating Loot Foops. Not sure if I can say the actual name of the cereal, so let's call it Loot Foops, not Fupas. Loot Foops. And I remember watching them, I was like, they're having so much fun. I remembered I got Magic Spoon cereal in the cupboard. It smells and tastes exactly like Loot Foops, but without the protein. I'm trying to work out so much more, so the added protein is great. So I just jumped in on that. Showing these kids how it's done. Magic Spoon is fun to say as well with my kids. Magic Spoon. That's the cereal Daddy's having. It's so much fun. And it's healthy. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein a serving. Ready to get all toit for the summer. Packing on that prote. And only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. 140 calories a serving. Still boggles my mind when I say that out loud. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. You can build your own box. Available flavors to build your own box are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. And I'm not joking about fruity smelling exactly like Loot Foops. I think that's done on purpose, Magic Spoon. Pretty sure. Go to magicspoon.com/nodunks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS to save $5. And we thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, this episode of No Dunks is also brought to you by Bourbon Time, because our friends at Jim Beam realise that the loss of the commute between the office and home has affected how we wind down at the end of the day. They want to help us beat the burnout and reclaim the hour of 6 to 7 p.m. as our own, our Bourbon Time, if you will. And look, I'm probably the world's last barman poet. I see America drinking the fabulous cocktails I make. Americans getting stinking on something I stir or shake Milton. The sex on the beach, the schnapps made from peach, the velvet hammer, the Alabama slammer. And this Thursday, I'll be making a bourbon-based cocktail live during our happy hour, which will be revealed then. I'm not going to give it away now because I'm still working on it, okay? But, I'm going to try to watch Cocktail between now and then. Great movie.
Oh, great movie. I had the biggest crush on Elizabeth Shue.
Oh, God, who didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, God, what a period she'd been through.
She was on a
Karate
run.
Kid,
Yeah.
Back to the Future 2, and then, Cocktail there. No, I was about 13 or 14 at the time Cocktail came out. She was making this boy think some things that he hadn't thought before.
Every hour, right?
And remember, everyone needs some time for themselves. Think of this as a selfie for your soul. Join us in reclaiming the 6 to 7 hours, the happiest hour, so you can do whatever it takes, whatever it is that makes you happy. And if that involves a glass of bourbon, remember to drink Jim Beam responsibly. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, copyright 2021, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky.
Yes, the No Dunks happy hour watch party tonight. Firing up the live stream here on YouTube around halftime of Game 3 between the Nets and the Bucks. Can't wait for Leigh's Jim Beam cocktail. But let's wrap this bad boy up Tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Gonna be a beefy segment, Skeetsington. Our first tweet of the night, not even from the night, not even a tweet. Just a pat on the back to the stream team and your boys No Dunks. 40,000 subscribers, that big 40K. Lock it in. Couldn't have done it without your stream team. I gotta say, we're already on our way to 40.1. Big time, big time. Second part of tweet of the night, just honoring one of the great NBA tweets out there, the 2-year anniversary of Kill a Cow's tweet. There's always someone on Twitter arguing with no one, saying stuff like, but I was told Steph Curry wasn't a good shooter. This tweet makes me laugh every single time that I see it. Gonna remember it forever. And yeah, that is what it's like on Twitter sometimes, just arguing about things that nobody disagrees about. But you got to do it sometimes on the internet. Our official, though, tweet of the night, part 3, comes to us from Matt Peterson, simply tweeting Phoenix mood, talking about the Suns fans going wild last night. In particular, this kid takes off his hat and takes off his shirt during the Suns' big Game 2 win. My question for you guys, why is it so much fun to take off your shirt when you're celebrating? Like, why is it awesome to do that? Because it is. Everybody likes it.
I swear to God, that's a scene from the Goonies.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't know, but this kid is fired up. That's everybody in
He's
Phoenix
loving
right
it.
now.
Yeah, he reminds me a bit of the New Jersey Nets Darren Williams kid. You know, that one who's in the background that. He doesn't take his shirt off. That similar sort of celebration style.
He also reminds me of all those young photos of Nikola Jokic going around with him with his shirt off as a little chunky boy.
Yeah, people were sharing that other clip of a young kid talking about the chicken sandwiches. Remember, he's like outside at some like fair, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why I'm here for the chicken sandwiches. I love chicken." And people were saying that was Jokic. Anyway, this goes full circle here on this show. We're having enough fun. Let's save some of the fun for tonight, okay? For the happy hour. Join us halftime, Game 3, Nets Bucks. Just make sure you subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube so you get that little notification when we're going live. 2 games on tonight. It is Brooklyn in Milwaukee, Game 3. Starts at 7:30. It's on ESPN. I think you can lock in almost like a 15 to 18 minute, pregame show until you get to your bullseye tip. Usually that's the case, I think, with ESPN. And then we have the Clippers Jazz. That one starting soon after that game. They got it in 10 in your schedule. Jazz up 1-0 in this series. Can't wait. We'll be watching them together, so to speak, there during the watch party happy hour. Having some larfs. Call it there. Thanks so much to the stream team, especially for the thumbs up and thumbs down in the up-down report. Keep your emails coming. NoDunks@theathletic.com. Tweet them in @NoDunksInc. Subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. 40K. That's nice. Happening during the show. Love to see it. And finally, if you don't have an Athletic subscription, go to theathletic.com/NoDunks so they know that we sent you. It is well worth your time and money. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, more than 40,000 people should really be subscribed to the No Dunks channel on YouTube.
Embrace the day, people.
You could stay